But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for right now. I will be saying more. I can't wait to say more. I have spilled a lot of tea, but there's definitely more tea to come. My girlfriend is not my girlfriend. Dempsey and I are not a thing. She took off with the van, and she owes me a ton of money, which I probably will never see again. She's blocked me on every platform. If you want to go on her Instagram and ask for the money that I'm owed, if you feel called to do that, I'm not asking you to do that, but I'm not able to see anything. Best of luck to you, Dempsey. I hope you get whatever lessons you need to become for yourself, not for anyone else. All right, see you later. Talk to you guys later.
Statler from 90 Day the other way was on a live talking about a lot of things that she was not supposed to be talking about as per her NDA. She said she'd had enough. She'd had enough of the bull. She'd had enough of the fakeness. And she was out here last night talking about how she's going to be exposing a lot more tea. So I listened to the live and I heard her talk about how, a lot of the things, a lot of the scenarios that they put them through are kind of designed, not scripted per se, but certainly designed and guided by production. And she talked about how, it really messed with her mentally. Statler is neurodivergent, and she spoke about how unnatural a lot of the scenes were and how 90 Day has now become kind of a finished product, whereas it started off being rather authentic. Now, for those who don't know, Statler was with Dempsey here. Dempsey is from the UK, and they were in a long-distance relationship. Statler moved over to the UK to start a life anew. Now, the storyline was that they were going to be living a van life. So basically, Dempsey, who had lived in a caravan previously and was used to that way of life, had given Statler the idea to kind of travel the UK or travel Europe together for the rest of their lives. They put money towards a van. In fact, Statler put the majority of the money towards that van. But throughout the show, there were moments where clearly there was some hesitancy on Statler's part. The two didn't get on. They argued quite a lot. And throughout a lot of the series, you could visibly see that Statler was quite uncomfortable with a lot of things that were going on, including having to give up her car in the States. She just felt like it just felt a bit final, and she wasn't sure if she wanted to make that step. But she did feel somewhat pressured into it. Whether by Dempsey or production, it's not very clear, but she went along anyway. This is just one classic example of how uncomfortable you can see Statler is with the way things were going. Dempsey seemed, on the other hand, quite oblivious and quite, happy to go along with it. We don't know if she was just kind of in denial about the awkwardness or whether she really didn't see it. But I think it would be hard to ignore because Statler made it very clear. I mean, even from the moment she arrived in the UK, her energy was quite flat and she'd had a less than enjoyable flight. She had a lot of worries. She had friends back home telling her to be careful because it did seem like Dempsey was kind of pushing this decision for her and on her. And it did seem like there was a question around whether Dempsey was just using Statler for the money in order to purchase the van, because the van life scenario was something that Dempsey really wanted, and I think she wanted it more than Statler did. Statler has also talked about how she doesn't care about the NDA anymore, and she will be exposing everything that she's not supposed to because she feels that morally the 90-day machine has taken a negative turn and it is affecting neurodivergent people in a negative way. For example, and she mentioned Gino from the franchise, who was with Jasmine, and I hadn't even considered the fact that Gino might be neurodivergent, but I see it now. I do see it now. Tyree, she mentioned as being someone who's been very supportive to her, and we look forward to hearing more tea from Statler, and I hope that Statler is doing well. I don't know what the repercussions of her talking are going to be. I can't even imagine. She joked that it may be, her live recording may be used in a court of law one day, but hopefully it won't come to that. I just don't know what the repercussions are for breaking an NDA in a show like this. I'll be following this story closely. There are also other LGBTQ couples from the franchise that I will be covering that I had planned to cover anyway, but this has certainly catapulted my 90-day lineup, so stay tuned and watch this space.